Tired of your health holding you back? Look no further than Fire Your MD Now with Dr. Glidden, the radio show that strives to get you in optimal health. Look out, Big Pharma. Someone is looking for the knockout punch. Here's Dr. Glidden.
Happy Friday, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health, welcoming you to yet another live edition. Today, September 6th, 2013. September 6th, 2013. Thanks for logging in. Thanks for finding your way to this radio show. Please visit the website of the same name. That's fireyourmdnow.com. Fireyourmdnow.com. Become a Dr. Glidden Insider. Click on the online health subscription service button, or quite frankly, just scroll down to the bottom of the first page. It's all right there in living color. You don't know what you don't know, and when it comes to your health, the stuff you didn't know is going to kill you or heal you. Join our team of open-minded, smart, intelligent people who are completely frustrated, and rightly so, with the delivery of medical treatments for chronic disease by the pharmaceutical industry, the American Medical Association, and the MDs all around the world, and who are aligning themselves with science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery. You're going to love how you feel, honestly. And if you listen to this show long enough, you're going to hear testimonials that will make your jaw drop, honestly. Breaking news. Chronic illnesses outpace infections as the big killers worldwide. Chronic illnesses outpace infections as the big killers worldwide. I'm reading a study from the Bureau of Public Health. I pulled this off the internet yesterday. For instance, a child born in an era, it quotes, I say, quote, for instance, a child born in El Salvador today is expected to live 40 years longer than a child born there in 1970. A woman in Bangladesh is much less likely to die in labor than she would have 2 decades ago. The leading cause of death and disability have changed from communicable diseases in children to non-communicable diseases in adults. Eating too much has overtaken hunger as a leading risk factor for illnesses, the report states. Now, this is interesting. Eating too much has overtaken hunger as a leading risk factor for illness. The pattern of illness is changing rapidly, much faster than many expected, says Tim Evans, a health and nutrition specialist at the World Bank. 20 or 30 years ago, we were dealing with diseases that were killers, childhood killers, infectious killers. Now we are dealing increasingly with diseases that are not primarily killing but causing chronic illnesses, heart disease, injuries, mental health, blood sugar issues, high blood pressure, etc., etc. Now, their basic assumption in this article, and remember, the MDs are like colorblind art critics. I say that all the time. The basic assumption in this article is that the reason that chronic disease has outpaced infectious disease is because people are living longer, and there's better sanitation and better public health. And because of, better sanitation and better public health and better, perhaps, economies worldwide, there's more food available to people now, and so they're eating way too much instead of eating not enough. And because they're living longer, they're suffering from more chronic diseases. Well, the two things to consider here are the reason that they're eating more isn't because there's more food. Well, there is more food, but the reason that people are driven to eat more than they should for their health is because they're minerally deficient. The body knows how to regulate its appetite. Your appetite is a God-given homeostatic mechanism in the human body. Your appetite has intelligence the same way the rest of your body does. When your body is nutritionally replete, your appetite goes away. When your body is nutritionally starved, your appetite is constant. Because your body knows that if you don't get more calcium, your heart's going to break. If it knows that unless you get more sulfur-bearing molecules, your bones are going to break, literally. It knows this, so it forces you to eat in the desperate attempt to fill the nutritional tank, but the food that you're eating, thank you Monsanto, doesn't have the stuff in it that your body needs, and so you accelerate the genesis of chronic disease. Now, they also say that, well, more chronic disease is happening because people are living longer. Which begs the question, well, why can't MDs fix chronic disease? We've become used to medical mediocrity. We just think that asthma is just a part of life, and I might as well just wrap my head around it and get used to it and accept my lot in life. You're going to get asthma. You're going to get heart disease. You're going to get high blood pressure. You're going to get heart disease. It just comes along for the ride. It's part and parcel of the human experience. No, it's not. It's part and parcel of living in a body that's undernutrified. It's part and parcel of living in a body that consumes all of the wrong stuff all of the time. It's part and parcel of medical treatment, which never gets to the root cause of the disease, but always manages symptoms instead with arrogant, man-made synthetic drugs, the intention of which is not to fix a damn thing, but to control and regulate the processes of the human body. Pharmaceutical prescription medicines are like communism. Let me say that again. The pharmaceutical prescription medicines are like communism. The intention of a communist regime is to overpower and control every aspect of the society. The state controls everything because the belief is that people are too stupid to take care of themselves and that they need Big Brother to take care of everything for them. Well, that's what your MD believes. Your body is too stupid to fix itself. And once it's developed a chronic illness, your only option is to let the MD throw into your body a man-made synthetic drug, the intention of which is to overpower and control the inherent workings of the body. It's like a hostile takeover of the human body, a hostile takeover of the human body. That's what pharmaceutical drugs are. Now, remember, you know, a place for everything and to everything a season, right? Thank God for morphine. Thank God for the sterile technique. Thank God for Novocaine and anesthetics. In some instances, prescription medicines, man-made synthetic drugs are awesome. But when you deliver a man-made synthetic drug into a holistic system, in order to manage a chronic disease, guess what happens? Well, you manage the chronic disease and nothing gets fixed. And because of their colorblind, old-fashioned, reductionistic methodology that they're never going to give up, an MD will never, ever, ever give up their reductionistic methodology. It is anathema to them. They cannot do it. And so because, see, they don't even think that it's a methodology. They don't think that there's another way to think that, oh, I'm going to choose the reductionistic way. They just think that the reductionistic way is the only way. They don't even call it reductionism. They just think it's modern science. And that's the long and the short of it. They haven't thought it through. Because, again, they're intellectual cowards. They are. Anybody that's prejudiced is an intellectual coward. I mean, Mark Twain said it best, one of the best cures for prejudice is travel. It's true. But I digress. The point to ponder here is that the reason that chronic disease is outstripping infectious disease now as the #1 killer worldwide is because the people delivering medical care, it's not health care, remember, it's medical care. The people delivering medical care are clueless about how to keep you healthy. They're clueless about how to keep you healthy. They think that your asthma is genetic. They think that all of your chronic diseases are genetic. They don't really think that. They were told that, and they just repeat the party line. Again, they haven't thought it through. They haven't really sat down and tried to figure out from a Mendelian genetic point of view, if it really was genetic, then why is there more and more and more of it, not less and less and less of it? Because aren't the weak people from the herd supposed to be weeded out? Oh, and so then they change their tune. They say, well, it's not genetic, it's epigenetic. Epigenetic. That means there are unseen environmental stressors that we postulate are manipulating the gene code, we think. Well, they're wrong. Because the founder of Youngevity, my colleague, mentor, and friend, Dr. Joel Wallach, was in charge of $25 million of federally funded research from 1970 to 1982, the intention of which was to discover once and for all the net negative cumulative effects that environmental toxicity had on the health of human beings. And they discovered there was none. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. The only time that environmental toxicity poses a real threat to your health is when you're working in a coal mine and you're exposed to massive amounts of nasty stuff all the time. When you're working in the asbestos plant. when you're working at Fukushima without your radiation suit, when you're living downwind of Chernobyl. That's when it's a problem. When there's a massive exposure, when you live next to Minamata Bay, that's when it's a problem. But the stuff that we're exposed to on a day-to-day basis doesn't hurt us. Has a negligible effect on our health. Negligible effect. But what does have a massive effect on our health is lack of nutrients, specifically minerals. Minerals are 66% of your nutrient needs. Minerals are 66% of your nutrient needs, which is why Dr. Wallach's plant-derived minerals, $20 a bottle, is perhaps the best investment, the best introductory investment you can make in your health. Because if you purchase one bottle of the plant-derived minerals or the cherry mints, which is the plant-derived minerals with cherry flavor added to it, and you take 1 ounce twice a day for 2 weeks, you will notice a change. You have to notice a change because your body is demineralized now. You've gotten used to running on mineral fumes. And now for the first time in your life, your body's going to be mineralized. You don't think you're going to notice something? You're going to. So this is a really good kind of introductory supplement to take for those of you who are skeptical about taking nutritional supplements. Don't know why you would be. Quite frankly, you should be a million times more skeptical about taking the prescription med, but we're not because we've been dumbed down. We've been dumbed down by fluoride in the water and in the toothpaste for the last 40 years, dumbed down. Fluoride decreases your IQ. Did you know that? That's been documented about 8 times. World Health Organization agrees. Fluoride decreases your IQ. It's that simple. Ladies and gentlemen, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. In order to experience a change and to get a sense of the stuff that you're missing, the stuff that you didn't know, go to fireyourmdnow.com, click on the Youngevity button, and buy 1 bottle of the cherry mints. 1 bottle of the cherry mints. Tastes great. Take 1 ounce twice a day, and then call me on the radio show and tell me what happened. And if nothing happened, I'll eat my hat. I love my hat. 866-582, that's the number to call. Talk to me live. When we come back from the break, we're going straight to Texas to talk to Randy. Stick around. Hope you're all having a wonderful Friday. Friday's always great. But, you know, if you have a Youngevity business, the weekends become irrelevant because you can work 2, 3, 4 hours a day. You don't have to work weekends. I mean, your whole week becomes a weekend because you're not punching the clock. You're working how much or how little you want, and, of course, your income is going to go up or down based on how much you work. But once you've been doing it for 2, 3, 4 years, there's a lot of residual inertia there. There's a lot of residual energy, which is going to maintain itself for a long time. Once you get off of the corporate dole and you finally get it together that you can actually make a big difference in your financial world with a home-based business, especially a Youngevity home-based business, then in a couple of years everything changes. Weekends become irrelevant. You actually are having fun with your life. You're having fun with your job. You have money to burn. And I got to tell you something, folks. Guess what? It beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick. We're going to go to Texas right now. Or actually, I think the Texas call dropped. I'm sorry about that. We're going to go to Idaho and talk to Dalton. What's up, Dalton? Thanks for calling. You are live.
How are you doing?
Pretty good, Dalton. I guess what's up is your blood pressure, huh?
Yes, it is. I went to the doctor yesterday, and I've been on Youngevity for 2 months now. And I took I just started the Ultimate Daily. I think it's been about 2.5 weeks.
Yep.
But anyway, when I went to the doctor yesterday, he said, you know, we've been tried you on all these medicines, And he said, it's not working. He said, well, I think we need to check your kidney. It could be clogged. I said, no kidding, Dick Tracy. I said, I've been listening to Dr. Glidden. And, and so he wants to send me to a kidney doctor because he wants to get an x-ray of my kidneys to see if it's stopped up. And if so, then they come talking about flushing it. I said, I don't think so. I'm going to talk to Dr. Glidden. So I want to know what. Go ahead.
Well, Dalton, man, you're the smartest man in class, and this underlines a couple things, right? I mean, you, and I'm assuming, have you had any medical training in your life? I mean, are you a nurse or a doctor or anything like that?
Only just by listening to your show.
Well, see, this is what, yeah, right, this is what I mean, right? So, you know, you don't have any medical training, and yet you know more than your medical doctor did about what's going on here, and this underlines two things. Number one, healing is easy, and number two, the MDs they're so much in the dark about this. I mean, the education of the MD is so outdated and old-fashioned and archaic. It's scary. I mean, you should be very scared, ladies and gentlemen, if you bring your body, even for diagnostics discovery, to someone with an MD after their name. No kidding. So, you know, what we do here, right, it's just kind of a logical thought process, right? Well, you know, let's say I had a leak somewhere in my basement, right? Well, you know, you don't know where the heck the leak is, so you start over in this corner and you peel back the carpet and you take the wallboard off and you look, oh, it's not there, and so then you move to the nethermost, you know, logical place, and then the nethermost logical place till you find it. Well, it's the same thing with medicine. It's, you know, we start here. The most common cause of high blood pressure is not enough calcium. And so if we're taking adequate amounts of calcium and the blood pressure still is a problem, well, then the only other thing is, well, you were abducted by aliens and you have an alien implant that's causing your blood pressure to be high, or your kidney's funky, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's one or the other. So what I would recommend you do, so the first thing I want to ask you, though, Dalton, is have you gone gluten-free? Have you stopped eating the 10 bad foods yet?
For the past, well, since I've been on Youngevity for the 2 months, I'm cutting out gluten and everything, so I've been probably gluten-free for about 2 weeks.
Okay, so 2 weeks or 2 months?
2 weeks, but I've been on the other, you know, the Youngevity for 2 months.
Okay, great. And
so
how much?
All of it out.
Good job, man. I'm proud of you. What about the liquid calcium? How much of that are you taking every day?
I've been taking it what was called for, and I just ran that, but I got another shipment came in today. I'm starting that back, and then I just ordered another load of calcium because I want to double that up.
What's your body weight?
I'm 235.
Okay, so we're coming up against a hard break, Dalton. Stick with me through the break. I'll dial this in very specifically for you when we come back. We're going to do this in steps, right? You don't need to go get your kidneys flushed, for goodness sake. You stick with me, brother. I will help you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. This is Fire Your MD Now. Why don't you get as smart as Dalton did? Sign up for my online health subscription service. We're going to be back after these messages. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you. We are talking to Dalton from Idaho. Hey, Dalton, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm from Indianapolis. They got that wrong.
Oh, sorry, Indianapolis. Well, that's better. That's closer to Chicago. All right, so here's the deal. As an experiment, do you have a home blood pressure cuff?
Yes, I just got another one yesterday.
All right, good man. So sometime between now and Monday, I want you to take a trip down to the local firehouse and find an EMT when they're not working. You know, they're not out on a call. They're just hanging around the firehouse playing poker or whatever. Ask them to check your blood pressure with their equipment and with your equipment. And compare the two and see if your equipment's accurate, because we need to know if your equipment's accurate, okay?
Okay.
Now, if it is accurate, then I want you to be taking your blood pressure twice a day. And I don't care when you take it, but take it at the same time every day, twice a day, and write the numbers down. All right?
All right.
Now, once you start doing that, for two days, you've got your baseline blood pressure numbers. You got 4 readings of your blood pressure. On day 3, for day 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? For 5 more days, 5 days in a row, I want you to take 1 ounce of the white liquid calcium 4 times a day. 1 ounce of the white liquid calcium 4 times a day is a little 5-day experiment. And mix it in with a little orange juice each time, right? Is your stomach okay with orange juice? You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, so 1 ounce and maybe 2-3 ounces of orange juice 4 times a day. Just throw that stuff down and look to see what happens to your blood pressure. All right?
Okay.
Now, I want the second blood pressure reading done after the 4th dose. And I don't care if it's 30 minutes after or 3 hours after, but I want you to do the second blood pressure reading after you've had all 4 ounces in your body. Okay?
Okay.
And then you look to see if the blood pressure numbers come down on those 5 days.
Okay.
Now, if they do, then the problem ain't your kidney. It's not enough calcium in your body. And see, the problem with this is, even if you're taking enough calcium appropriate for your body weight, remember, that's just a maintenance dose, right?
Right.
But we've got to take more than that if we're actually trying to fix something that we know or believe is associated with a lack of calcium. We've got to fill the tank up. And in addition to that, if you or me or anybody else is taking a nutritional supplement and we're still eating gluten, then chances are, it's not 100%, but chances are high that your body is not going to be absorbing everything that you're taking, and so we're going to kind of be spitting into the wind, right?
Right.
So I'm glad that you've seen the light and gone gluten-free. That's a gigantic step in the right direction. It's a gigantic step in the right direction. I mean, buy yourself a new suit or a new tie or something, Dalton, and celebrate. I'm telling you, man, you got to reward yourself for making the correct decisions in life, right? This is a big deal. I'm telling you, it's a big deal. Trust me, man.
Oh, yeah.
And so now that you're gluten-free, it may just be that you need to do a little more calcium before we get all worrified about the kidneys, right?
Okay.
Now, if after day 7 there ain't no change in the blood pressure, or it's just come down a little bit, then we're going to assume, just like when we're looking for mold, that it's the kidney, and you don't want to flush it. You want to massage it, so to speak. You don't want to do anything radical with prescription medication, synthetic drugs. You don't want to do that. So the secret sauce to support and promote the structure and function of the kidney in this regard would be the Ultimate Daily Capsules.
Okay.
And it would be a minimum of 6. Well, I would do, at your weight, I would do 9 a day.
9 a day. I started that today.
Okay. Well, now, there's no harm and no foul. I mean, I take Ultimate Daily Capsules preventively. Dr. Wallach takes Ultimate Daily Capsules preventively. It's not like, I mean, if it fits the budget and you're okay with it monetarily, then get some and take it every day. It's a really great idea. And also remember, right, from our point of view, the operative cause here is clogged blood vessels in the kidney. Well, what makes blood vessels clog in the kidney? Inflammation. What causes inflammation? Eating all the wrong foods all the time and not having enough antioxidants to put those fires out. So, additionally, you should eliminate fried food and oil in a bottle and the rest of the 10 bad foods moving forward. And good man. And dial in, lastly, between 50 and 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day, between 50 and 100,000 ORAC of antioxidant. Now, this, of course, assuming you're taking enough selenium, right? And I'm just assuming you're doing that.
I'm doing 6, I think it's 6 of selenium a day.
All right, that should, 12 would be best if it's in the budget, but really the Ultimate Daily is of maximum importance here for you. The Ultimate Daily is of maximum importance here for you, and that's really what we want to focus on and stick with. All right?
Okay.
All right, Dalton.
Sounds good.
Try that on for size, brother. Call me back in a couple of weeks for the report. And just remember, you go to bed feeling proud tonight because you knew more than your medical doctor did, and that's just, that's awesome. I'm really proud of what.
You know what the funny thing is?
Yeah.
I told him, I said, well, I've been on this with the Youngevity program for about 2 months, and I said, I noticed my kidneys working a little better. I'm going to the bathroom more. He said, you know what? I've been studying Youngevity. I've been hearing about it, I've been reading about it. He said, that's good. Stay with it.
Oh, my God. What? Has the Earth shifted on its axis? What's going on here? Well, hallelujah and pass the hat, Dalton. You got to love it. I guess, every once in a while it works. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work and stay in touch. All right, folks, it looks like we have more time than I thought we had. We're going to go to Kelly in Ohio next, calling with a question about formaldehyde exposure. Hey, Kelly, thanks for calling. You are live.
Thank you, Dr. Glidden, and how are you today?
Fabulous. What's happening?
Well, I heard you say earlier that environmental elements won't hurt us. And so my question to you, are there any side effects for exposure to formaldehyde?
Well, yes. Now, I didn't say that environmental toxicity wouldn't hurt us. I said that it takes a large dose to hurt somebody.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
It takes a large dose. Now look, if you're living in a brand new house and the walls of the house are made from pressboard, not plywood, but pressboard, the pressboard is glued together with formaldehyde. If there's brand new carpets in your house and you've got, 2,000 square feet of carpets in your house or more, it's going to be off-gassing formaldehyde at record amounts. So
now, let me ask you this. Okay.
There are situations in normal life where, yes, in fact, you can be exposed to too much crap. It's not.
Okay.
It's the exception, not the rule, but it can happen.
So it's a matter of being exposed to it daily opposed to just once in a very strong dose. And let me just share with you what happened.
Yeah.
I was a courier for an animal hospital, and some of the specimens spilled in my car. When they spilled, my eyes started burning. I had a cut on my hand, which burned, and there was a tightness in my chest. Now today my eyes are swollen and itchy, and my chest is still tight. So I'm just wondering.
Well, how long ago was the exposure?
It was probably 30 days ago.
Well, all right. So I'm going to assume that you're in the weeds from it still. And this is the thing, right? I mean, you can break a bone in a half a second, but it's going to take 3 months for the bone to heal, right?
Right.
I mean, you can burn your hand in 2 seconds, and it's going to take 2 weeks for the burn to heal, right? So your body takes a long time to heal itself, and honestly, the less nutrition you have in your body, and if you're still eating food that's not just right for the body, you're going to really slow down your recovery time. I don't care what it is, whether it's a sunburn, a mosquito bite, formaldehyde exposure, or whatever, you're going to really slow down. And this is way too long of a time. You should not still be dealing with this. So, where there's smoke, there's fire, and it's reasonable to assume that the operative cause here was, in fact, the formaldehyde exposure, whatever that crap was that was in the samples, because these things started immediately after that, right?
That's right. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah, so then it's reasonable to assume that that's what caused it, but really the biggest thing to focus on is, well, I'm still dealing with symptoms, and that means that your body just doesn't have the stuff it needs to fix itself, right?
Okay.
So what's your current body weight?
My current body weight is 207.
All right, so for 30 days, for 4 weeks, here's what I would do. I would do 2 anti-aging healthy start packs.
Okay.
And 4 bottles of selenium.
4 bottles of selenium. Okay.
Yeah. Now, if that's outside the budget, do 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and 4 bottles of selenium.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And you must eliminate the 10 bad foods. You have to do that. I have to do that. Everybody and their brother has to do that. And just by eliminating the 10 bad foods, Kelly, within 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, you're going to feel a noticeable positive change because, you've gotten used to eating all the wrong stuff all the time and having a substandard experience of your body's health. And it's not just you, it's everybody.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we're all eating the wrong stuff all the time, and we're getting used to, being sick all the time. I mean, just go to Kmart on the weekend and look around. It's like, holy crap, everybody in here is sick.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I would do. Clean up your diet, eliminate the 10 bad foods, do the anti-aging healthy start pack and selenium, and I would anticipate within 7 days of doing that there should be a noticeable turnaround here.
Great. I appreciate you, Dr. Glidden.
Kelly, right back at you, girl. I appreciate you because, we're all in this together. Appreciate the phone call. Have a great weekend. All right. Now we're going to Florida to talk to Dawn about Down syndrome. Hey, Dawn, thanks for calling. You are live.
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I just got started with Youngevity. My daughter is 2 years old, and she has Down syndrome.
Yeah.
So from listening to Dr. Wallach's material, he said that's the result of a mineral deficiency. So I guess my question to you is, I can't imagine that this is reversible because it's an extra chromosome.
Yeah, Down syndrome is not reversible. It's baked into the cake, but I will tell you a story. There's a couple of kids that Dr. Wallach's been treating for about 17 years. Well, he hasn't been treating them. There's a couple of Down syndrome kids in Youngevity that have been taking Youngevity for a long time. I mean, since they were 2, 3, 4 years old.
Okay.
And they're able to have jobs and get married and have like semi-normal lives that you would not expect a Down syndrome person to have. Why? Because the body bounces back to the degree that it's able to bounce back, and nobody knows where that is. Whether the child has Down syndrome or not, they need the 90 essential nutrients and not to eat the 10 bad foods. So really, I would get the kids started now. Keep your fingers crossed and see what happens. Make sense?
Okay, one more quick question.
All right, well, hold on. We're up against a hard break. I'll pick you up when we come back. Thanks, folks. We'll be back after these messages.
You're feeling down in the dumps, tired of your health holding you back? Look no further than Fire Your MD Now with Dr. Glidden, the radio show that strives to get you in optimal health. Look out, Big Pharma. Someone is looking for the knockout punch. Here's Dr. Glidden.
Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you. If you're watching the video feed, we're having some technical difficulties here. We'll try to get that dialed in the next couple of minutes. Today is the 6th day of September 2013, the 6th day of September 2013. Welcome to the second hour of FireYourMDNow.com. Howard from Arizona has been waiting for a long time to talk to me. Hey, Howard, it's your turn. You are live.
It's my second turn. I met you in Queen Creek when you were here in Arizona earlier this year.
I had a great time in Arizona. I love going to Arizona, especially when it's winter in Chicago. I love going to Arizona.
To come up to Prescott Valley where it's 5,000 feet, not down in Death Valley.
Oh, is that right? So I bet you must be getting snow then in the winter months.
We get a little, but it doesn't stay on the ground. This is a great place to live.
Prescott Valley?
Prescott Valley. It's 80 miles up the hill from Phoenix.
Gotta love it. All right, I'm in.
I do.
Let's go.
Okay, I had a second friend come down with rosacea a week or so ago, And I was wondering if you had any words about what causes it and if there's something to be done about it.
Yeah, rosacea, it's a simple vitamin B like baby deficiency, specifically vitamin B12. Although, you know, the B vitamins are like wolves. They all run in packs, and if there's not enough of one B vitamin to cause an active symptom, then guaranteed there aren't enough of the others. And also, lacking vitamins, the body can make use of minerals, but lacking minerals, vitamins are useless. So whenever we are attempting to give the body extra vitamins, like, you know, if someone had scurvy and we wanted to give them vitamin C, because that's, you know, what would be mandatory here. When we're giving vitamins, we need to just make sure that the minerals are there also, because if the body doesn't have any minerals, it doesn't matter how many vitamins you give them, because the vitamins ain't going to work.
That I got already.
Yeah, okay. So the secret sauce here, in addition to the Healthy Start Pack, would be the De-Stress or the Ultimate Daily. De-Stress are easier to swallow. So I would get the De-Stress to 1 bottle a month, and that should cut it in about 14 days. There should be a noticeable positive change. But let's not overlook the obvious, right? Whenever we see a skin condition, and I don't care what it is, whether it's rosacea or eczema or psoriasis or whatever, then there's always a component of an inappropriate food going into the body, always. So,
knowing these guys, that's for sure.
Yeah, so they need to be gluten-free, and I don't know how easy a sell that's going to be. But even if they don't want to go gluten-free, just to kind of get your foot in the door, if you gave them 1 bottle of the plant minerals and 1 bottle of the De-Stress, they'd see a remarkable change. And then when they see a remarkable change, you might then be able to have a little bit more leverage in their lives, by telling them, look, if you think this stuff made you feel this much better, you have no idea what you're missing. And so we'd like to hook you up with the rest of it. That might be a strategy that you could use.
Well, I've known the one guy since the 60s, so I'm pretty sure that he's got rocks between the ears, but I'll try. And,
isn't it funny?
I'm the Howard from the Get 90 team in Arizona.
Oh, Howard, it's a pleasure to meet you, at least auditorily here. Appreciate everything that you guys are doing down there. What's your experience been like, Howard, in trying to, in sharing this message with people? How many people do you have to talk it up to in order to get one person to listen?
I don't think I actually counted. I've only been doing this for, less than a year, and we've got 70 people.
Yep.
Biggest disappointment is not being able to help my sister because she thinks MDs are God.
Yeah, well, there you go.
She has Crohn's disease, and he didn't talk to her about gluten intolerance, doesn't think she has to get off gluten. I gave up talking to her.
Well, see, the thing about this is, number one, I don't know if this is going to be of any solace to you, but, very few people in my family listen to me. So people that are your relatives are the hardest people to convince here, so I wouldn't feel too bad about that. Although,
I just figured I'll go find somebody who wants help.
Well, it's hard to watch people suffer needlessly, right? But so this is the deal. So and again, the secret here to the health enrollment, and the health enrollment is different, of course, than the business enrollment. But the secret to the health enrollment is bringing people to the expert, right? So the enrollment that seems to be working best for people in Youngevity, the health enrollment, is like this. Listen, I know a doctor that says you don't have to suffer with that. If I invite you to this webinar, will you watch it? If I send you a link to this video, will you watch it? If I lend you this CD, will you listen to it? Whatever. So instead of trying to tell people what they need to do, and honestly, the more the time that you spend with Youngevity, the more frustrating that this becomes, because you actually know what they should do, but if you tell them what to do, they're not going to listen to you. It's very frustrating.
I don't try to tell them, but if something the conversation, I do try to get them to listen to either you and Healing is Easy, or Wallach and Dead Doctors Don't Lie is a place to start. My own story is that I've gotten rid of arthritis, diabetes, and high blood pressure doing what you guys tell me.
How long were you arthritic?
Oh, geez, I don't know, 30, 40 years.
And what part of your body was it in?
the first place was in my hands when I was probably 30.
Wow.
Both my parents had it, although I know that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought a bowling ball now. I go bowling with my granddaughter. I gave bowling up 20 years ago because it hurt my hands too much.
Son of a gun. Don't you just love it? I mean, isn't it awesome?
Yeah, I mean, this is my hobby now. I retired at the end of 2011, wanted to do something to help people, to kind of give back, and this is what I do now. And when I got the first check, I didn't even know it was coming. It just surprised me. And now I got stock options, which I didn't know were coming either. And
I know.
I guess the next level gets me a car bonus.
Yeah, and that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick, right? I mean, this is, and you're kind of just doing it by hook or by crook in your part-time, and you've already got 70 people in your organization.
Yeah, the biggest accomplishment has been a gentleman that I got introduced to his sister that we had in the Mesa event when we had one, and he was on the verge of major surgery that might have ended up with a colonoscopy bag. And so he stalled off his gastroenterologist for a couple of weeks while he started heavily on the products. He went back for a checkup, and the doctor was flabbergasted that he could see that the guy's colon was healing.
Unbelievable. Now, did the doctor ask him what he did?
Of course not.
Yeah, doesn't that just burn you?
That won't stop it, see, because Alan, even though he was going there to get probed, took a Wallach Dead Doctor's CD with him, and the doctor said, okay, he'd listen to it. Now, I wouldn't bet on it, because when my doctor approved me getting off all my meds about 8 weeks ago now, he'd had a CD for a while and hadn't listened to it. So
it's amazing to me that even when these people have direct evidence right in front of them, I mean, living, breathing testament to the effectiveness of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition, and this isn't like, some crackpot on the internet telling you what to do. This is Dr. Wallach, arguably the most researched. I mean, there's no MD in the entire state of Arizona that even comes close to Dr. Wallach's academic resume. Let alone his clinical experience. They're not going to listen to him. They're not even going to want to know. I mean, this underlines the pig-headedness of the profession, which is exactly why, Howard, I've chosen to name this radio show Fire Your MD Now for this very reason, because
I fully understand. I was lucky enough on one of Dr. Wallach's trips here to get him one-on-one for breakfast, and all told, I guess we spent about 3 hours. The man is clearly a genius, and he's also humble.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you a story about
his message, and the stupid people don't listen.
Well, it's like Noah's Ark, right? I mean, it's like Noah's Ark, right? Who listened to Noah? Nobody, and they all drowned. So it's the same thing here. Let me tell you a story about how humble Dr. Wallach is. This was about 5 years ago, I think, maybe 6, at the annual Youngevity convention, right? And back in the day, before FDI hooked up with Youngevity, the Youngevity conventions, there were maybe 60, 70, maybe 100 people there, right? And I think this was in Las Vegas. And it was the last day of the convention, and there were all of these speakers that were lined up, and everybody was sitting in the audience waiting for the next speaker, and a very well dressed African American guy showed up, and he spoke to Vanessa Hunter, who was the organizer of the event at the time. He says, Miss Hunter, I'm wondering if I can have a few minutes to talk about what Dr. Wallach has done for my mother up on the stage. And Vanessa Hunter didn't know who he was. And she said, well, geez, if we let everybody, she thought this guy was just a member of Youngevity who wanted to give a testimony, right? And she said, well, look, if we let everybody do this, then, we'd never have time to do anything else, because there's hundreds of people in the audience who each of, Dr. Wallach has saved their mother's life. And so, no, we can't do it. And he said, well, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Martin Luther King Jr., and Dr. Wallach saved my mother's life, and he didn't tell anybody that he'd done it. And that's why I want to come here today and tell Dr. Wallach's followers what he did for my mother and she was able to march in the Million Man March because of what Dr. Wallach did for her arthritic knees. And Dr. Wallach didn't tell anybody that he fixed Coretta Scott King's knees. He didn't tell anybody about it. And this is, again, a testament to Dr. Wallach's humility, and I'm right there with you 100%. No kidding. Dr. Wallach is a genius, and the more that we can do to forward his message. And, you know, man, if people don't want to listen to it, they don't want to listen to it, and let's just move on and find somebody who will. Howard, I appreciate you and everything that you do down there in Arizona. I'll look forward to coming to Prescott when I can. Give Youngevity a call and request it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we roll, baby. One healthy body at a time. Stay tuned. We're going to talk to Vicki in North Carolina when we come back. We're back. Dr. Peter Glidden-Hair, September 6, 2013. If you were watching the live video feed online or through YouTube, we had some technical troubles and it just went away, and I have no idea. We're doing it all on through Google and through Google Hangout, and apparently the technology is not 100% dialed in yet. So we're going to try to iron out those bugs, although I think it's on Google's end, not on ours. We're going to keep trying here, folks, because that's what we do. We're going to be as technologically advanced as we can to get our message into the homes of as many people as can, because as Howard just gave testament to, this stuff works. High blood pressure, arthritis, type 2 diabetes, gone, 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 and gone. And the MDs didn't want to know how or why. Now, can you imagine that? You've dedicated your entire life to the delivery of medicine, and you see a remarkable healing that's completely outside of your ken in front of your face, and you don't ask why? Ha! Fire your MD. Fire your MD now. Let's go to North Carolina and see what Vicki's up to. Hey, Vicki, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hello, Dr. Glidden.
What's going on, Vicki?
How's it going?
Going fine. How's every little thing down in North Carolina?
Everything is going great. Going great.
Fantastic. So what's happening? Who's losing their hair? Someone losing their hair down there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have a customer that he has patches. Hair loss patches in his head, and I was wondering what would you recommend for that. And he's taking, he's using that Provilius minoxidil hair treatment.
Yeah. That doesn't really get to the root cause. That's called male pattern baldness, right? And when that happens, when the hair falls out in like patches, there's two possibilities. The first possibility is that it's just massive vitamin deficiencies and mineral deficiencies in his body, and his body is robbing nutrients from the hair in order to keep things like the liver and the kidneys and the heart healthy, right? So, you know, it's kind of like, well, you're going to rob from Peter to pay Paul, and this is what happens when the body doesn't have enough nutrients. You have to steal it from non-essential tissue. You can live without your hair, right? You can live without your fingernails, but you can't live without your heart. So when the going gets rough and the body starts running on fumes, it will often steal nutrients from non-essential tissue to keep the essential tissue alive. That's a distinct possibility. The other possibility, because of the way that this is happening, is that it is a tin deficiency. How about that? Tin. Bet you didn't know that was an essential mineral. Well, guess what it is? A tin deficiency will cause a pattern of baldness in mice. So we anticipate that it'll do the same thing in humans. So where do we get tin from? Well, that's the plant-derived minerals. So the recommendation for this young man is simple and straightforward, Vicki. It would be one healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. 1 bottle of plant minerals per 50 pounds of body weight per month. And he can either do the plant minerals or the cherry mints. Cherry mints, of course, taste better. And, you know, everybody that I talk to, whether they have a problem or not, I recommend they take selenium, because selenium is such a really great anti-cancer treatment. It reduces the chances of breast cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, and colon cancer, and that's a pretty good lineup. So I recommend everybody take selenium regardless of what their problem is, and that recommendation is 1 bottle of selenium per 50 pounds of body weight per month. So that's what I'd get him started with. It's either one or the other. It's either a tin deficiency or a tin deficiency and multiple nutrient deficiencies. It's probably the second, right? And, you know, if he really wants to go all in and optimize his health and listen to you, which he would be wise to do, then he would also eliminate the 10 bad foods. That might be a hard sell, though. What do you think?
No, I don't think it'll be too hard. But I believe he would be
All right. Able to do it? All right. Well, look, the secret sauce here would be the minerals, right? So you want to give him more minerals. The normal dose of the plant minerals is 1 bottle per 100 pounds per month. But because of this particular set of symptoms, I'm going to recommend he do 1 bottle of the minerals per 50 pounds of body weight per month. And he should do that for 3 months before he dials it down. And you know, whenever we give people a comprehensive program, in addition to seeing if his hair starts to come back in, he also wants to pay attention to everything else, right? His mood, his energy, his appetite, his sleep, everything. Because this isn't really a hair loss treatment, it's a Vicky's friend treatment, and that's always better. Thanks for the call, Vicky. You're the greatest. Keep up the good work down there in the great state of North Kakalaki. Going to Tennessee when we come back to talk to Karen. Stick around. Some ZZ Tops for my Texas listeners. You gotta love it. Gonna go to Tennessee now and see what Karen is up to. Hey, Karen, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi. I just had to leave the room. My dogs are barking. Sorry about that. I do want to tell you that my husband and I are happy customers of 3 weeks. I'm so excited. We love the results already. Woohoo!
Great.
And I came in kind of skeptical, but I'm telling you, this is changing my life. But we do need to step it up because my husband has high blood pressure and I have asthma, so the next order's got to have some more good stuff. What I'm calling you about, though, is my son, my daughter, and my husband may have a parasite problem. What would you recommend for that?
Well, the operative word in that phrase is may have. Why do you think they have a parasite problem?
They all have the same symptom, and it's not a pretty one.
Oh, tell me what it is. I'm sitting down, and I'm a doctor, so it's fine.
Okay, they all are experiencing a skin irritancy in the behind area.
Skin irritation around the butt, right?
Yes.
And how long has it been persisting?
I hate to say it, but over a year.
Why do you think it's a parasite?
Well, my son and my daughter both went in, and actually my husband too went in and had it looked at. They were given cream. It never went away. There's been a little bit of bloating in the stomach. Like we looked it up on the internet and just kind of looked at some of the symptoms of a parasite. And very outdoorsy, our family is. And
well, is there
concluded that maybe this is what it was?
Yeah, well, you know, it's armchair diagnostics. So, what is
Right.
is there any itching, like in the middle of the night, itching or crawling in the middle of the night?
I don't know about that because it's not me. I can tell you that it is the most annoying itching in the world. It's just nonstop.
All right, so here's the deal. Where you live in Tennessee, right?
Uh-huh. And we just moved here not long ago and never had this problem before.
From where? Where'd you move from?
Wyoming.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, so there's one thing you might want to consider. Now, before we start getting crazy about parasites, which it's definitely in the diagnostic array here. It's possible that this is a parasite. There's a lab in Illinois. It's called Doctor's Data. Doctor's Data. All right, Doctor's Data. Look it up on the internet. Monday, call the lab and see if they can give you the name of a practitioner, a licensed practitioner in the state of Tennessee who does their lab testing. Because you can't order a lab test directly from Doctor's Data. You can only order it through a doctor who has an account with Doctor's Data. And I think Tennessee is covered. I'm not sure, though, but they should be able to give you a heads up on that. So there's a test. It's called it's just called a digestive stool analysis with parasitology. It's a digestive stool analysis with parasitology. And if there's a parasite in your gut, then this test has a very high degree of sensitivity and specificity to spot it, which is important because intestinal parasites are like cats. There's a lot of different types of cats, like dogs. There's a lot of different types of dogs, right? Mm-hmm. So if this lab, which is one of my favorite diagnostic labs in the world, if this lab finds a parasite, then they will grow the parasite on a little culture medium, and then they'll attempt to kill the parasite with a number of different things, prescription medication and natural herbs. And then they send you a report that says, well, you have, parasite A, and the best thing to kill it is this prescription medicine or this particular herb. And then and it's a million times easier to, if you do have a parasitic infection, it's a million times easier to kill it with a very specific agent than it is to just give a whole body napalm bomb that's going to kill a lot of things in addition to maybe kill the parasites, right?
I know. There are all these cleanses out there.
And so don't pay.
You gotta take the Paracleanse.
Which is,
my gosh.
It's good for the company, right? Because it's the hundreds and hundreds of dollars and weeks and weeks and weeks. So, now the other thing to just understand here, right, is even if we're trying to kill a parasite with an herb, the herbs that we use are toxic. That's how they kill things. I mean, they're toxic herbs. So you don't want to be taking toxic killer herbs into your body if it's the wrong one for the parasite, number one, and number two, you don't want to be doing that for, more than 3-4 weeks at a time because it's dangerous. So, if we think that it's a parasite, then we need to get it diagnosed and which species and genre of parasite it is, and then have a culture and sensitivity done to see which substances kill it most appropriately. In this lab, look, I've been doing this for 24 years clinically, and this lab in Illinois is the best lab in the world to figure out which type of bug it is, if there are any bugs at all, and what to do to kill it. It's called Doctor's Data. So,
great, and they can find a licensed practitioner in Tennessee, hopefully near us, that we can go to have this test done.
Yeah, you got to order this test through a license. The chiropractors are able to order these tests, naturopaths.
Oh, okay.
So you don't just have to go to an MD, thank God.
Okay. Oh, I'm so glad I asked it. Well, that hasn't worked yet, so.
Well, I know, right?
Yeah.
Now, listen, we don't want to overlook the obvious, Karen, because there might be something else at play here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever there are chronic digestive issues, and this is specifically, this is the south pole of the digestive apparatus, right? Mm-hmm. So I would encourage everybody in your family, as a little in-house experiment, for 1 month, 4 weeks in a row, to go gluten-free.
Okay, we started that.
Okay.
Well, my husband did. My daughter has actually been gluten-free for several months.
And there's been no change?
No, she's had other changes, but not that particularly.
Okay,
She's had
so
other really good changes, wonderful changes.
Was she asthmatic?
No, I'm the asthmatic person, but she's had a lot of other skin irritancies and other issues that are getting, well, she's just had a lot of other issues.
And they're getting better with medical nutrition and a clean diet, right?
Oh, yeah, and she's 100% believer of that. She would like to start this product, the Healthy Start Pack, and I want to help her to get it. It's, kind of a baby steps here. We got to just try to do what we can.
Yeah, I get it. And so what you want to do then initially for her would be give her the plant minerals.
Plant minerals? Okay.
Yeah, that's only $20 a bottle. And the EFAs.
Okay.
Get her the EFAs because the EFA, and you need to take the EFAs because the.
Yeah, what do you recommend for me? I've been on asthma medication for 30 years.
Yeah,
and it's my goal. And if
how's that
I
working
can get
for
off
you?
my asthma medicine, I'm going to tell you, you will hear me shouting from Tennessee.
Well, thank God for Dr. Wallach. Asthma is caused by a deficiency in essential fatty acids. It's kind of like if you have a rubber band and you leave it on the countertop. At first, you take it out of the bag, and it's nice and rubbery and stretchy, right? But if you leave it on the countertop and it dries out, you go to try to stretch it, it snaps like it just snaps in two, right? Because it's lost its elasticity. Well, when your lungs lose their elasticity, it's hard to breathe. And the only reason that your lungs have lost their elasticity is because the lung tissue has run out of the nutrients it needs to maintain their elasticity, so to speak.
And see, I was told it was secondhand smoke. That my father smoked and smoked in the house, in the car, everywhere, and that my problem was a result of being around secondhand smoke. That's what they told me 30 years ago.
All right, so here's the million-dollar question.
Mm-hmm.
Did your father have asthma?
No.
Now, your father was exposed to primary smoke, not secondhand.
Right.
So if it was the smoke that was causing it, then your father should have had asthma. Because he's getting 1,000 times more smoke than you were.
Right, and my brother, too.
If it was the smoke, then why didn't your father get it? It's nonsense.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's just, we're so vulnerable to listen to what the doctor says. We put them up on a pedestal and believe every word.
I know, and it's like something in our brain just turns off when the doctor starts talking. I don't know what the heck that is. I swear to God, a person could put a white coat on and strap a stethoscope around their neck and tell someone to jump off the roof of the hospital, and they'd do it.
Well, and I had a tumor on my thyroid. My thyroid level was normal. There was no cancer in the tumor. It was aspirated, no cancer, and they wanted to remove my whole thyroid. And I said no. This was 9 years ago. And I stumbled across a book called Natural Cures, and, it was a little overwhelming, but I just changed my diet. All natural, all organic, purified water, no pop, no fast food. I committed to it for 3 months. I was going to commit to a really healthy food style for 3 months because I didn't want my thyroid removed. And within about a month and a half, my tumor was gone, and it has never returned. And it was about the size of a 50-cent piece. Believe me, I believe that a lot of that is just hooky, and I'm so thankful that I don't have to take Synthroid and go regularly for blood exams and have to mess with medicine. I'm so thankful.
Well, and then belief is irrelevant. What's relevant is truth. 2 + 2 is 4. No matter how much if you took LSD and you believed you're tripping on LSD and you really believed that you could fly, well, guess what? You jump off of the roof of a building, you're gonna crash and burn because gravity is real, regardless of what you believe. And language is important. So this is not inside the realm of belief. This is just physiological fact. 2 + 2 is 4, right?
Right.
And now multiply yourself, your experience with your health by 300 million.
Oh, I know.
And that's why we have a healthcare crisis in the United States, because everybody goes to the MD. The MD can't fix a damn thing. and they medicate the hell out of you until you're in the weeds, and then passes for the best health care in the world. But I digress. Look, I'm running up against the clock. What's your body weight, Karen?
Okay, I'm 111 pounds.
All right, so to support and promote the structure and function of your lungs, the recommendation would be 1 anti-aging healthy start pack and one bottle of EFAs at the 180 count and 2 bottles of selenium a month. That's 2 selenium, 1 EFA at the 180 count, and 1 anti-aging healthy start pack per month. And what your husband needs to do is 2 anti-aging healthy start packs, 2 anti-aging healthy start packs, 4 bottles of selenium, and 1 extra bottle of Beyond OsteoFX a month. 99 times out of 100, high blood pressure is a simple calcium deficiency. So we need to give him more calcium. We need to give you more EFAs. Eliminate the 10 bad foods one day at a time. You are going to be screaming from the rooftops, and I can't wait. Keep up the good work, Karen. You're the greatest. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all over the country today. You know, Youngevity works. The proof. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here with you, wrapping it up. Friday, September 6, 2013. So, you know, we've heard a lot of unsolicited testimonials today about the wonders and the benefits of science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition, which begs the question, I mean, how bad is it going to have to get before you take the plunge? I mean, what the heck are you waiting for? You know, I'm not telling you to eat earwigs. What I'm telling you to do is give your body the raw materials that it needs from dust where you made. You know what the dust is? Minerals. Your body is minerals. It's minerals and vitamins and amino acids. 66% of your nutrient needs are minerals, for goodness sake. If you want to prove it to yourself for, you know, a pittance, order 1 bottle of the cherry mints or the plant-derived minerals. It's $20 plus shipping. Take 1 ounce twice a day for 14 days and see if you notice a difference. If you don't, I'll eat my hat. This is what we do. We work one person at a time, forwarding our message. And, you know, what's going to happen 100 years from now is that medical nutrition is going to be the norm. And most medical doctors, most medical professionals in this country are just going to do medical nutrition, and there's going to be a handful of MDs who do surgery and trauma care. And it's all going to sort itself out, because even when the industry is monopolized by even when an aspect of society is monopolized, as the medical industry is by the pharmaceutical companies, the truth will out. You know, the truth is, when you've experienced the truth, you're in its velvet grasp forever. Nutrients work. Your body loves nutrients. You feel better when your body's nutrified, and most chronic illnesses are resolved to a remarkable degree when your body has all of the raw materials that it needs to function properly. So for goodness sake, give it a try. And, you know, healing is easy. If you're up against a blood pressure issue, if you're up against a blood sugar issue, the recommendation, 1 healthy blood sugar pack. If you're up against a blood pressure issue, the recommendation, 1 healthy heart pack. If you're up against a bone and joint problem, the recommendation, 1 healthy bone and joint pack. If you have a diagnosis revolving anything in the digestive tract, the recommendation, 1 healthy digestion pack. And if there's nothing wrong with you, it's 1 healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. You don't need an office visit. You don't even need to call me on the radio to figure it out, because healing is easy, and Dr. Wallach has done all of the heavy lifting for you. Youngevity is delivering boilerplate, science-based, clinically verified nutritional recovery programs for the masses. They're available right now, today. They're a mouse click away. FireYourMDNow.com. Click on the Youngevity button, and voila, you're in, baby. And if you really want to take it to the next level, if you're also tired of struggling financially, if you're afraid of the mortgage payment due date, if you're horrified by having to pay 25% on your credit card, which is, Shylock rate, then, get your financial freedom back by becoming a Youngevity distributor. We'll hold your hand. You don't even need to know how to spell vitamin to make this business work. It's not an overnight pipe dream business sensation, but it's good, sound economic sense. It's a tried and true simple system that hundreds of people have made millions of dollars with, and they're not any smarter than you. For goodness sake. Healing is easy, and financial freedom happens one day at a time with Youngevity's networked business model. This is a network business, which has the potential and the possibility to bring profound residual income financial benefits to the table to the degree that compound interest can. Remember my old friend Ben Franklin, my relative Ben Franklin? Compound interest is one of the greatest. There are a few things in nature as powerful as compound interest. Well, one of them is a networked business, because you get paid for a long, long time on the efforts that you made today. It's a wonderful thing, folks. FireYourMDNow.com. Click on the Youngevity button and join the cause. I look forward to meeting you in person someday. And until that happens, I remain your steadfast advocate for health, Dr. Peter Glidden, wishing you a healthy and happy and prosperous weekend. God willing, I'll be back on Monday. See you then.